Good afternoon, everyone. I hope you're all well. Welcome to the How to Craft Network studio. I am so excited. Oh, take a breath. Susan TIERNEY-COCKBURN's in the building, everybody. If you didn't know, she's definitely here. So welcome to the channel, everybody. My name is Toni Darroch, and this is... Just one second. Is there any chance we can turn this down? Sorry, darling. Just one second. Welcome to the How to Craft Network studio, everyone. My name is Toni Darroch. If you'd like to subscribe to our channel, that would be wonderful. I have been watching the live chat and I can see there is lots of you on from all over. And do you know what? Some of you are experiencing rain, some of you are experiencing the sunshine. I have to tell you, it's very sunny here, but it's very windy and cold. So you'll have to let us know whereabouts in the world you are from and what is the weather like. Now, Susan is in the building, and I know I've just said that. She's sat in her chair patiently, and we've been putting the world to rights, talking about this and talking about that. But we have so much to show you. She has a live demonstration as well. So if you want to interact in the show, that's absolutely fine. You can ask any questions you like. All you need to do, which helps me out, is pop Q into the beginning of your question, and then hopefully I'll catch it live on screen and we'll ask Susan any questions. So she is formidable. She has been in the industry a long time. She is second to none with her designs, and her flowers actually look like they've just been picked out of the garden. And she's just been telling me about a garden, and Tim was very jealous, I have to tell you. We got a lot of oohs and open mouths and ahs and I wish, and so we've been putting about that with the garden and stuff like that. So I will bring her in just one second, but if you want to ask any questions, please do so. If you want to subscribe, please do so, and we'll talk about lovely Susan's social media platforms and where you can find her too. If you don't know her, all I can say is, how don't you know her? I'm going to say she's old hat. She's been around a while. She's blooming brilliant, by the way. But we have all of her products online as well. So if you like any of the items by Susan, we have a whole bunch of spellbinders. We have paper, and she'll talk you through, because I'm not quite sure exactly what you need to be able to create what Susan does. So she'll be able to talk you through that as we go through studio. If you want to go ahead and have a look at any of the products on website, just have a look underneath this video on our website. You can check all of the beautiful lines we've got. And I bought a ton of her flowers. I just couldn't decide. She was like, oh, you only need to get a few. I was like, I'll have them all. So we have them all. We have ice skates, we have baskets, we have buckets, we have the papers, and we have the tools. More importantly, though, as always with the How to Craft Network studio, me, my family brand, and Susan's exactly the same. It isn't all about selling. So if you already have some of Susan's products, take the tips away and utilise them with what you may have already purchased. Or if you have something similar in your stash and you want to create the card that Susan's made, go ahead and do it. Don't be afraid to show your makes on Susan's club, because she's got a wonderful club, and we'll talk about that in a second, and in our Eureka fan page. We love to see your makes, whatever's going on. So, are we okay to bring the lovely Susan in? I'm going to pop these back in, and hopefully I don't get the feedback. Absolutely brilliant. Well done, Tim. So let's introduce the lovely Susan. Hi.
Hi, Toni. How are you?
She sat there patiently thinking, am I going to bring me in? I don't know what I'm doing. I'm so excited. Lovely to see you, Susan. We have missed you in the UK.
Oh, I've missed you all. That's for sure.
I know that you're live every week in your own club anyway, and we were just talking about this, me and Susan. It doesn't matter how many times we go live. I go live or Susan goes live. Once it's been live and done and dusted and gone, it's sort of an afterthought, isn't it? So isn't it wonderful to have Susan in my studio? I'm very blessed. So thank you so much.
I wish I was there in person.
Oh, yeah, I know. Next time.
Next time.
Next time. So, if we have any questions, pop them on the screen and have a look at them. So, Susan, can we just find out a little bit about yourself? You know, how did it all come about?
Oh, gosh. Well, I've been doing this for about 25 years, and I started with punches that were big in the 90s. And I guess it started with, I was living in Massachusetts, and we had horrible snowstorms, and you just couldn't get out, and I wanted a garden. I mean, we don't really get into the garden in Massachusetts or New England area at all until the end of May. That's how bad it is. But I took some tools that I had in my kitchen from marzipan. I know you know what marzipan is. And I just started playing with paper where I molded it a bit to see if I could get some form out of it. And, you know, just the way my mind works, a heart got cut in half and made into petals. There were some daisies out there, but pear shapes and that sort of thing. And then as I evolved through designing punches that were specific to petals, then a dye company saw my work and offered me a licensing. So I've been doing dyes now since 2011, I believe. So dyes are just, you know, the best way to do it. You can cut through the paper. They're easy to store. You know, my first love is gardening that I learned from my grandmother and my mother. I just was in awe the way my grandmother came from a farming family. And so she just knew the different seasons, what the soil needed, what you could grow in different soils. And I learned from her and her little group of women that was somewhat of a garden club to start with, and listening to their stories of what grew best here. And they would share, you know, bulbs and cuttings. And it was just such a community that I thought, this is what I want to build with the paper garden. That people learn about the flowers and they learn and they share. So I have two sites. There's also Susan's Garden Club budding paper gardeners page that you could join and share your projects on, and just learn what other people are doing throughout the world. I think this connection is unbelievable of gardeners in the whole world. I mean, we've got people from Germany, of course, the UK. I've got people in South America and Central America and South Africa and Australia. It's just, and people share and they like to see what's growing in different areas. So it's just been a really wonderful experience. I don't even really find it as a job. It's more like this wonderful get together that we have.
It's connecting, isn't it? It's just wonderful.
It is. Yeah, but you know, crafting anyway is a connection, but to have this love and be able to turn it into something, you know, it's grown over the years that, and as the products become better and better, we get to have them look even more natural. So,
well, you're doing a mighty fine job. They are awesome. So, as Susan said there, as you look through her products, you would never know what these flowers are called. But because the name is on the packet, I've already educated myself. I've been looking through these thinking, these are delightful. Look at these. And the name is on as well. And the cool thing about it is the die has how many you need to cut. So there you're going to get the realism. So when I was thinking, oh, how do we cut these coloured cardstock? Listen, I know, Susan, I know how she does it, how she does the colouring and things like that. But if you're not au fait with Susan and don't know how it works, then you really need to get into this because it's totally, totally awesome. Now, I will give Susan 2 seconds to change her camera over. And then what we'll do is we'll come back and we'll get ready and let Susan do her demonstration. So she has a wonderful demonstration lined up for you with the wonderful dies as well. So you're really going to get the experience of a piece of white paper and how it transformed into something that looks so, so real, okay? I'm not joking. Now, have a look at the samples on the front here. You can see there's a whole bunch of different ones. I can see berries, I can see twigs, I can see budding roses, large ones, peonies, daisies. They are absolutely exquisite. Now, Susan was so kind as to send me a beautiful card when our Queen passed. Very sad time. And she sent me the most beautiful card with the flowers, and they looked like they were real. Absolutely incredible. And I posted it on social media and you all asked the question. I said, do you know what? I'm going to speak to my friend Susan. I'm going to get her in here because we hadn't actually connected since creating craft together. And obviously with the circumstances of creating craft and things like that, we just sort of like, you don't lose the friendship, but you just don't talk as much. So it's wonderful that she's back today with us and she's going to do a cool demonstration for you all and enable you all to get a slice of heaven, one. And if you love florals and how they look and how they come together on cards. Now, these are all built on frames and shapes and things like that, but think about them on the backs of your embossing folders. So if you have a sort of style or a theme, then you can absolutely build on top of. And Susan's hands, I'm sure she won't mind me telling you this, they're not brilliant. So she has this really cool kit which helps you shape them and put them together. They're all available on the website and I will talk you through them if you need me to, but it's more about just seeing what Susan is all about, and she's got set up, she's all ready. Now we will talk through the groups. I would encourage, as always, join every group. Now some people are a little bit precious about it. I'm so not. These groups are free. Share the love of craft, get in as many groups as you can, because you just never know, you might take one little thing from somebody's group and add it to your own style, and then you're sharing something else, and it's just that lovely lovable circle, as I would call it. Let's have a look. Susan, the question, can we have the Victorian garden dies, please? Are they on? I have no idea. I thought I'd bought them all. Have a look through what's on the website, guys. And don't forget, if you have the points, you'll get those extra discounts as well. And I'm certain Susan will be back in studio. I'm going to try, she doesn't know it yet, and I haven't asked her. And while she's just prepping for a demo, I'm going to try and get her in once a month. Don't tell her though. I'll make her a card and I'll persuade her. What do we all think? Let's hope her cards are better than mine on Wednesday. So, are we ready to bring Susan back in? Let's just check, make sure we've not got no issues or anything like that for you all, because I want to get straight into this wonderful demo. Fingers crossed. Here we go. So, Susan, can you hear me?
I can.
Perfect. So we are all ready to see a wonderful demonstration. Would you be so kind as to talk us through the products and why you use them? Because I'm tipping maybe a lot of people in my group may have never actually seen this come together, so it would be nice to have it straight from the get-go.
Oh, okay. Well, like Toni said, I do have a toolkit available that has everything in it. And through the years, like I said, I started with tools from my kitchen because I'm a big baker. And so things like that I've created that are just unique to me and no other company has are things like this loop tool that gives you certain striations, and this leaf tool that will detail the leaves with the stem and veins. Those are just mine. But as Toni said, with Spellbinders, they had the genius idea, because I'm always being asked when they get a die, people forget to write down when I'm doing lives, how many do you cut? I forget. And so we put on all the dies, if it doesn't have anything like this little centers here, if it doesn't have anything, it's one time. But with the other pieces, if it's two or more, we put it right on the die, and so you'll never forget. And they're just really well made. They're Spellbinders have such a good name. So the other things that I use are the it is my white paper, and it's a specialty paper. I'm going to grab a pack. I should have had this out earlier, but it's my specialty cardstock. And what you'll find with it is it's got a softness to it, but a tiny texture. I don't know if you can see on camera there. When I go to color, it'll pick it up better. But it takes the alcohol inks, it colors beautifully, and then shapes like perfect. So I do use alcohol inks. I've switched over the last year with the with Olo, They're a company here in the States, but they have distribution in the UK. And but any alcohol ink really works. And I know some of our design team members also uses distressed ink. You'll also see me use something that I'm quite proud of, that I've been associated with since I think 2006, are pan pastels. And they're great for shading. In fact, I did a box this morning where I shaded the peony after I colored it with the alcohol ink. I shaded the center with a hotter pink that was really pretty. So a few things, but you can get started with very little. I mean, even the ones today, you basically just need a ball stylus. So I've made these very easy, and tweezers. Now my tweezers are in the kit are the reverse tweezers that you have to pinch to open, but you also get a set of detailed tweezers. So shall we get started with this project? Toni and I decided on the Gerber Daisy. It was in the Painted Gardeners release that was in January, but was one of the most popular flowers. It's also called the African Daisy. So it's got 4 pieces. So you cut 2 of the larger petals and 2 of the smaller. And like I said, you basically just need tweezers and a ball stylus, and then the mats that come. So I've got the mat for the molding, and I've got a leaf pad. So I'm just going to color these simply with this is a pink. I thought pink was pretty. This is the month, actually the anniversary of my daughter's passing, that, you know, a lot of you know she passed away from metastatic breast cancer. And even though we celebrate the pink in October to remind us to do our mammograms and such, you know, pink is just a strong color for ladies here. So I'm coloring both the front and the back. And this is how I usually color, with most of them going from the inside out. Although this morning when I was doing pansies, I colored from the outside in. But this is the way most of the time.
Is it best to do front and back, Susan?
Oh, go ahead, Toni.
It's okay. Would you recommend that we do front and back all the time to get that realistic look?
Yeah, if you look at natural flowers, I mean, someone did point out there was one that she saw that had color on the front and was white on the underneath side. I think it was a rose or something, but flowers have color all the way through.
Yeah, okay. It's good to know.
So you want to color front and back. But you could do this if you were just starting out and didn't have alcohol. You could have cut this in colored cardstock. Toni's got some great cardstock you could use. Now, once you color it, and I usually do the front first and then the back, you're going to leave it with the right side facing down and get a little squirt bottle and just give it a little mist. You don't want to soak it. But what this does is almost activate the paper. So as I'm going around now with tweezers and just pinching the petals, and I'm going really close to the center because that's where they're attached and they're thinner at the center. Normally there would be on a flower a calyx, which is that green part that shoots up from the stem and holds the bud. But I only do calyxes on smaller flowers. This bigger one, you'd have to imagine that was green, I guess. So I'm just pinching these, and so that's very easy to do. You repeat that on all 4 shapes, and then you go to your medium ball stylus, and what I do is what's called stirring. Now I'm going to grab some glue here and grab there it is. I use Kids Choice, but I don't know if that's available. But what you want to use is a glue that has some, what we call viscosity to it. See how thick this is. You want a thicker glue, but you want one that also goes clear. And that's what this does. Right, so when I'm setting petal on top of petal, I do what's called offset. So where I'm looking at this bottom one here, I'm going to put it right in between. So you get that really full flower.
If you wanted to cut more, Susan, could you do, if you wanted to like really make a fluffy flower, could you cut like
You could
more?
do more. Oh,
Okay.
yeah, and in fact, there's some, like the dahlias and everything that have, oh gosh, quite a few layers. So you're really, I usually go by what a flower, how many petals it does have. So to build the center, you've got these three, you're going to cut this next shape 3 times. And all I've done is gone with a little lighter color pink to accentuate it. And I'm not going to color on my mat here, I'll color on the board. So nothing has to be cut. It's just shading again, and you could do a light pink cardstock. But I have some, like here's a rocker, here's the red. And you usually find that the center and the petals are different colors, maybe a different shade. Sometimes you'll see contrasting, but most of the time it's just going into a different hue. And again, I'm coloring front and back. And then we're going to take and spin this around. Squeaky today. It's like my bones. And then you can push down on it. No cutting, no nothing. That's all you do to it. And I'm going to grab my other tweezers here. And again, some glue. Now I put a hole in this one because it had a bigger surface. And the reason for that, if you're a, physics buff or anything, surface tension can cause it not to set well. So if you putting a hole in it by building up these layers, it's not going to get too bulky that they don't set right. I guess I have a good solid math and science background because of nursing. I was a pediatric nurse for 17 years before I kind of retired after my girls got through college. And we moved so many times with my husband's work that I just, decided that it was time for more fun things to do. And then you've got the next size down, and you're going to do the exact same thing. So where this one is a contrast with green, this one was a darker red that you saw. So again, I'm just going to take, and this time I'm going to use that little tiny ball stylus, push down on it so it cups up. I love the Gerbers. You see them in the grocery store, but you don't ever see them unless you plant them. You don't see them with leaves in the grocery store. They usually take the leaves off, and sometimes they'll even wind wire around them so they'll stand straight for you. So then this just gets built. So we've got the petals and then the inner petals. They're tinier. And what I usually do, once it dries, you can go back with your finger and fluff this up even more, because the alcohol ink helps it to firm up a bit, and you get really nice dimension. So this has that little plate that I showed you earlier of these little pieces. And what this does is builds the center, because it has a solid center to it. And I've just taken, this is a moo block that we used to carve stamps on, but you could easily, on these tiny pieces, you could also use an eraser and just cup them a bit. And this time I'm going to take and let me put a little bit of glue on I just saved these little plastic lids. I'm a recycler.
I'm doing my part as well. I've had my son, Susan, giving me the talk about school and less plastic, and we're working on it big time in our family business. Let me tell you, I have to go through an assessment with my son not to use as much plasticware on it. But that flower looks actually like an actual gerbera, does it not? Everybody at home's like, oh my gosh, I forgot I was watching. That is beautiful. Comes together quite quick too, doesn't it?
Oh, it does. I mean, I think the longest you'll take is probably coloring it because, or deciding what variety you want. I mean, the Gerbers are just so. uh, I think they're just so colorful and happy flowers. And don't we need some happiness in this world? I mean, a bouquet of Gerbers just really, um, puts a smile on someone's face. Now I'm just building lightly. I just take my detailed tweezers and a little dip is all you need because the glue actually does shrink and pull it down. So I don't want to over glue these little pieces. But what I'm going to do after this is dried, I'm going to add some prills on top to give it that hard look. I'll bring this one back in again. Well, here's another red one here. If I lay this down, you can kind of see, when I lay these both down, see the on top there. You could leave it with these, but you'll see the difference if I put the frills on top. It really gives you that hard center that they have. So if I set this aside second, I want to talk about one of my favorite style of cards. We decided to do this rocker card, and it's just merely, you can, I've got a couple of round dies. This is like a 7-inch maybe. And then the one below that you'll cut. And what I do is just cut the circles, and I literally just fold it in half with my hands and burnish it. And then when I do the next size, I fold it in half and get the line and cut it, and you get this normal border around it. Now I chose, because I just got some beautiful embossing folders from my friend there, this Renaissance wallpaper, and I was able to line it up nicely. So when I put the heart on, I can put it on right in between, and you've got this beautiful design below. It's very romantic looking.
It was meant to be that, wasn't it?
It was. Before I put that part on, when you do a rocker, if you put something on top, tends to want to open up. So you want to make yourself what I call like a little bridge. And it's just a 1x4-inch piece of cardstock. And you're going to score at 1 inch, 2-inch, 3-inch, and then do mountain, valley, mountain. And you'll get this. Well, what I like is a W. If I turn it around this way, yeah, the W. Fold it up, and we're going to add some glue on either side here. And this will just keep your card together. That's why you've got a place on the back that you can really. So I'm going to open this up and just eyeball where the set here. And then when you fold this down, just press it. And this way it stays like that. But it's a nice little interactive card. And then I chose a heart, but
that is a cool technique, Susan. I would have never thought to do that. I bet there's lots of you sat at home thinking, why have I never thought to do that? I was just looking at Susan's card on the counter. I thought, has she done it with that one? And she certainly has. It's got a W in there as well. So just bear that in mind. If you have cards that separate, take that little W and pop it inside. And it's going to stop your card from separating. How cool is that?
And then you've got it perfect. You don't have to do a heart. This one's with some smaller circles, and I did the geranium on it. But, whatever you could do a square, you could do an oval. This was meant to be kind of romantic. And I want to get my heart situated right in between, because I've taken the time to center those diamonds. So I'm turning it on the wrong side here, and I'm going to grab some glue. And what I'm going to do is just trace that around this way so I can get it right where I want it into the diamond. So I'm going to set that heart. And then I thought, wow, doesn't this, with that beautiful Renaissance wallpaper, doesn't that make a lovely design? And like I said, kids love this. This is, but I send these to friends, and one of the companies I work with, I sent her one, and she says, whenever I'm feeling stressed, I sit there and rock it back and forth because it calms me or something.
It's a stress buster.
A fun card to do.
I need 10 then. be rocking all 10 at the same time.
So, you know, when you go into a florist and you order flowers, the first thing they grab is some foliage. And so I've cut some ostrich ferns here. And now this is just a speedball mat. You know, the company Speedball, they're little plastic ones or rubber ones. Because I cut my foliage, it's out of white paper and I've colored it, but I do it out of watercolor paper because I like the thickness of it. It just, the foliage holds up better. And so when I put it on the speedball mat here and draw the line for the veining and down the stem, I really get you know, some nice shape out of it. It stands up a little bit better with the watercolor paper than the regular molding mat. And then I'm just going to bend these up a bit. But before I place my flower, I'm going to be just like a florist and grab some foliage. Now I have lots of foliage in my lines. I've got ferns and ivy, and then I've got eucalyptus, 2 different kinds. I used some verbena this morning. There's some other branches that we've had, some ginkgo. So anything that kind of gives you that backing for your flower, now you can just put your project together. This one goes together so quickly. And what a lovely, I said, I'm going to set that in there and just kind of shake it around a bit. The one thing with a rocker you want to do, though, you want to make sure, see how it's leaning that way. So now I've got to add something this way. And that's where I chose the Carolina Allspice. And I know that might be, let's say, foreign to you all, but it's a lovely branch. And it's, this one's is in the white. Let's see, I've got a red one here. The normal color, and mine that's outside, is this deep red, and it has such a wonderful aroma. My mother used to call it strawberry shrub, but it's
this
got,
one I haven't. Is that this one, Susan?
I should have cut some. It is a shrub.
Yeah,
so,
that's it. Carolina Allspice. It's red on here like the one you just showed, but I can see that in yellow. Could you do it in any colours? Would it matter? Yellows, whites, pinks?
Right now the colors are just the red and the white, and the white is really kind of exotic. Those, in fact, I was looking at adding a bush, and it's like $69 for a gallon plant. So they're a little bit more expensive because they're rarer. So it is a shrub. So it has a brown stem, unlike the flowers, which have green. So the beauty of these olos, you'll see, I'm going to do 2 different colors because I've got, they're cartridges. So I can put 2 different colors together with an O-ring and not have to hold 2 pens in my hand. And I can go and, let's move these out of the way, shade a little bit of dark and then switch around and bring out that lighter color to shade. So you really get some nice depth with your leaves.
Colour in that, Susan. I'm just going to do a little bit of shout out. We have Barbara Joy, hello from Miami, Florida. We have Karen. We have Sue, Rosie, Sue. We have Lena Lameo. There's lots of you on, I can see. Welcome, everybody. Thank you so much for taking the time to come and say hello to me and Susan. Don't forget, while she just is colouring, if you can share the show, that would be wonderful. I will do a giveaway at the end of the show. I'm not sure what it'll be, but we will do a fabulous giveaway. And don't forget, and we will talk about social medias and things like that and where you can get even more inspiration. But please do remember, although it is Susan's line and we're here, and if you want to buy anything, you can absolutely do that. But I think some of you, from the comments I've seen, have already got some of Susan's products, and this channel, this live hour, is inspiring you now to get them back out and have fun with them. As you know, we are a channel that encourages using our new products and our older products as well, so dig them out. Right, back to you, Susan.
Oh, while I've got the green out, I think I'll color the same thing with my, oh, actually, I'm going to use another color here. Grab this one. It's kind of an olivey color. I know it looks a little, you know, we've all had, if we've had children, this looks like baby poop or something, but it's a lovely yellowish kind of olivey green. So, but what it does is blend. I'm going to blend it with the darker color though.
Susan, question. Can, from Selena, can you get the pens here in the UK?
Yes, we showed them on Create and Craft. They were available, and then there's a distributor, Oakwood Distribution. I can give the link to Toni where you can find them. They're distributing. So what you do is, it's not only you're buying cartridges that will go together. They're tips, so you can put, you know, like I did, put two colors together. You can also go directly to Olo, and if you look under their line, they have featured artists, and I'm one of them. If you go under my artist picks, it says Garden 1 and Garden 2. Then you're going to, you can order from there, and then put in Susan Set, all in lowercase, and you get 10% discount on that. And what that does is help take care of your shipping. So the pens are about $4. I don't know what it comes to in pounds, but about $4 for the pens to start with the nibs. And then when you want, once you've got, you know, the brush nib, then you can just order the cartridges, and they're only about $2.
That's cool.
I think $2.10.
I have another question.
Really,
questions are coming in now for you, Susan. They're not going to let you get away lightly. Just 1 second. Question. Can we get the special cardstock here in the UK? Michaela, the cardstock is on the web, on my website. I bought that in as recommended from Susan. It is Susan's card. It's a £80 weight cardstock, is that one, on the website already. Question.
Yes, it's 80 pounds or 117 GSM.
Okay, and what's the ladybird all about?
Oh, you're going to make, well, so the ladybug is in honor of my daughter, Kelly, that passed away. As I've told the story before, before she went into a coma, she said to me, Mom, I'm happy. And so that stuck with me. And then when she passed away and I went to the mortuary with my husband and my son-in-law, I sat in the car while they made arrangements, and a ladybug came and sat with me. And so she sat on the windshield and just stayed there the whole time. And so months later, when my granddaughter was in a store, she was about 14 months old. She wanted this pillow pet that was a ladybug. And so her mom bought it for her. And my daughter asked her, Maddie, why do you like this pillow pet, this ladybug? And she pointed to a picture of Kelly, a photograph, and said, Herb made me buy it. And so my daughter said, Maddie, what's her name? And she said, her name's Happy. So it's been a big, just a remembrance. But ladybugs, or ladybirds, as you call them, are very beneficial to the garden. They eat aphids that eat our leaves and our plants. And so it's just a gentle reminder for me. I really like that little touch. And you'll see with the Gerber Daisy, it does come with the ladybug. Every release has a ladybug in it.
Now there is quite a few on there that have got the ladybug in there. Let's have a look.
Yeah.
So this is the little ladybug.
And you know what I actually take out the ladybugs and put them in a little container. And so when I have little scraps, I'll put about 20 of them on a page and cut them. And then I save these little jars. And look, I've got a jar full of ladybugs that I can just color and add whenever I need to.
Yeah.
As I'm putting this together, I'm going to make sure that stand it up every once in a while and make sure it'll stand straight. Because if you start to lean one way, you want to add something on that side. So if I've added leaves, so if I do this one under here.
Susan, what is the difference in the blocks you are using to shape the flowers?
Oh, the different pads. Well, okay, so the kit comes with a molding pad and a leaf pad. Through the years, I have added, it's not in the kit, but you can pick this up. Speedball is a name of an ink company. I think it's worldwide. You can get these, it's about 1/4 of an inch, I think, pink, and it's rubber, but it's really good for the foliage. And then, and I could do my little pieces on that. I had these blocks from when I used to carve my own stamps. You know, if there was an image that just wasn't out there and I wanted to draw one, I have carving tools. So I use these blocks now to cup these little pieces that go in the center. But like I said, you could use just a regular art eraser that's nice and firm. It's not as big of a surface, but the same thing, a very dense rubber that would be useful.
Perfect.
So I've got the other thing, I don't know that, let me put this on up here. The other thing I came out with last time was this molding tray. And what you'll see me do a lot of times, I used to make up little paper collars to mold my flowers. So this white one is pretty easy. I take a couple of colors. You only have to color the centers because it's obviously a white flower. So I'm just adding a little bit of color into the center. And then I've got a little darker shade.
Which set is this one from, Susan? Sorry to interrupt. I'm just getting asked.
This is the Carolina Allspice. So I'm going to show you how easy this one is to go together.
Okay.
Again, it looks like a daisy almost.
Yeah, it absolutely does.
And so you're going to treat it the same way I did that Gerber daisy. Sorry, I've been talking all day. I had a live this morning, so with the allergies I have, my voice is going to start to go.
Some people have saying it's been a wonderful treat to see you 2 times in one day. That sometimes happens to me, but I think most people mute me after like half an hour, Susan. But this is coming together beautifully. I'm so pleased I have these samples on my counter. They're mine. Unless Susan says she wants them back.
It does. To walk into my room here sometimes and see the flowers behind me, even on a really crummy day, you know, you might be everything going wrong. You're still going to get a smile. So I added a little green to the ends. And now these, even though they're tiny, I'm going to go around and pinch them, just like I did that Gerber daisy. I'm just going to pinch right around the tip of that detailed tweezer. This one takes a little bit longer because they're tinier, but it's still, you know, I'm going to grab this. So again, it tells you to cut 2 of these. These are the larger of the petals. And so for each flower, you're going to have 2 large ones, 2 medium, and 2 small. And then if you like to have, like I have a little bud there, if you want to have a bud, just eliminate the larger petal here. Don't Don't cut that one, or, cut it and set it aside. You just need the medium and the small to make a little bud on the end of the branch. But you can easily, we've done this probably, once you have everything cut out, and I usually pre-cut some things and just have it ready. So when, I trying to figure to send a card to someone, what I would put on it. You've got your pieces all set. So for each of these little flowers, and these are nice fillers. This, along with like the bee blossom, is a really nice filler for flowers. I'll set that one aside a second. And then with that little tiny small ball stylus that comes in the kit, you can just cup these, press down on your mat here, this molding mat. And again, what we're going to do is offset petals. So I'm going to turn it over. I like to use, this is that glue pot that I can put my glue in and keep. And then again, just hold it so you can line it up and offset those petals in between. It makes it look fuller, and you're not setting, everything right on top of each other. And then finally the little ones. So again, just like we did the Gerber daisy, it's just stacking this one on top of the other. And like I said, this is a nice filler flower. I know it's one that if you grew it, you would really appreciate it. So I would normally put this in my tray and make them small ball stylus. I designed this tray so it could mold them. So while that's drying, it's going to set them. So you've got those tighter areas. And I would do the same with another little one there, but I know we're probably limited on time here, so I don't want to go over too much.
I have a question, Susan, and it's from me. Do you know how you sprayed the pink flower? Would you spray them with a little bit of water as well, or because they're so small?
I did, yes. Anything that I pinch, like anything that looks like a daisy, I spritz with a little bit of water, just because, see how it holds. Once it dries, it kind of holds and interacts. And then I've gone to, now we've become real popular with these styrofoam balls, but they are kind of a pill to to manipulate because they'll stick to you. But you can dye these balls with any of your alcoholic refills, like the Ranger inks, or I have some old Copic refills. I put them in a little plastic bag and put some little styrofoam balls. They're anywhere from 3 millimeter up to 6 millimeter. And then I put it on a branch, and I'm gonna grab the scissors here. I actually like to cut my branch apart so I can fill it in places. So again, if you set this and it was leaning, I would know that I'd have to set this on another, put some berries or something else in it that would offset and keep it balanced. So if we put this here.
Recommendations, if we've got any brand new sort of Susan TIERNEY-COCKBURN flower makers who are just tuned in for the first time, which flowers are going to get them going where they're going to be able to create a lovely cluster of flowers? So if they're just wanting to dip the toe and just try the concept, which ones would you recommend them use from the start, which are relatively easy, which are going to give really cute results to start with? And then if they love what they've used and want to build the bouquet bigger, then they can obviously go and check out the rest of the system. But as a starting point, which one would you recommend be the easiest?
I think any of the ones that are like this, the daisy, you don't have to do a lot of molding. It's simple enough. And if you didn't think you would like this, you don't have to invest in my toolkit, because the only thing well, I did use the leaf tool on the leaves, but on the flowers, you could simply go with a ball stylus and a pair of tweezers. Now I'm just checking to see we're leaning that way, so we're going to add some more on this side to get it to balance up. You want balance in your life. So this one is a really good one to do, I would think. And you see how easy it went together. It doesn't take a lot. You could do it in colored paper. We're going to take, if we've got too much leaning on that side, I'm going to take one of these berries off here so we can.
Quick update for you all, while Susan's just getting some balance in her life. We have
there we go. That's what it
well
took.
Well done. We have quite a few of the items have sold out. I will order them back in stock though. This is not just going to be a one-off show. I'm hoping to get all of Susan's new launches every time she does them as well. So if you are watching and loving and want to see the lovely products that she's bringing to you, then you can absolutely do that.
And it's balanced, and we can rock it all we want. And then I always add that last. So we'll got a little bit of glue there. Here's my little tweezers. Always have to add the ladybug as a finishing touch. So I've colored her and added a little bit of. Don't worry about the glue; it will dry clear. So you can, or you use a glue that dries clear. I don't want too much schmutz there. And then a little bit of glaze on top, because they have those hard little shells that are shiny. So I put a little bit of the glaze on her, and that's done. That's and then I just added. Toni sent me the just a note, and so I put the little quote back there on one of the little. That was such a nice die set, Toni. That
oh, thank you.
It really, I love this with it like a torn out sheet of paper, just to add a little note to.
Beautiful. That is a beautiful card. Thank you so much. I'll let you get your cameras sorted, Susan, then we'll come back to you because I have a few questions. Wasn't that a wonderful? Thank you, sweetheart. Wasn't that a wonderful demo? Absolutely wonderful demo. Now, question, Michaela's saying, what about the glue? It's just an everyday gloopy glue, which is going to dry clear, Michaela. No particular brand, there's lots of it. And one lady said, I think from Florida, that she uses the kids glue from a local store as well. So I don't think it has to be anything expensive, just like a gloopy glue, which is going to give you the movability on there. Question, does Susan make her own boxes for these cards? She does. We'll talk about that in a second. Did you enjoy that? I mean, it came together pretty quick, and she did colour it from start to finish, really. Built it all together. While she's just getting ready, can I just very quickly just show some of the other items, because I have other items as well, which are showstoppers, by the way. I love this. Now, I have kept a few things back for myself. I have got the toolkit. I did get the card, because I always get what the owners of a brand recommend. So I did get the card, but I do love this. Have you seen this one? This is the wonderful cutting die high skate. Look at this. Now, I know if you go onto if you go onto Susan's page, she's got some flowers coming out of the top of here. Some of it's laced up and things like that. It looks absolutely amazing. Just bear in mind, some of the dies have the coordinating pots and plants and things. So if you do want to build those bouquets, looks like I've got duplicates here. I mean, check this one out. This one is double and single peony on there. And then again, it's numbered for you. But choose a flower. If you are investing today, choose a flower that you like and then go from there. This has to be one of my favourites. I've never seen this flower before. It's a parrot tulip, and it's stunning, and it's got that lovely ladybug on there. There's tons. There's absolutely tons, guys. So check them out and have a play. If you've got some already, hopefully Susan's inspired you to dig your old out and play again. Can I just show this lovely ladybug on here? Can you see the ladybug? He's got a shiny shell. Look at him there. Or should I say she? She's going to be a she. There we go, look at that. So I'll just show you these lovely samples, and then I'm just going to bring them in here, look, just to show you, because they are stunning. I mean, look at that. Look at the dimension on that. Let's have a look. And then on the back, every flower is a soul blossoming in nature. And then we have these wonderful frames. So they look like a little bit of a creeper up there as well. Peonies for you, is it, Karen? I do like a peony. Look at that. Not complicated, not lots of foliage, just that single flower in that heart there. And then we have another rocker. So we've got two rockers, one with like the daisy and one with like the peony, I believe, there. So you can see how different they look when you change up the flowers. Imagine them mixed together. And then we have this wonderful box. I'm ruining my set, but it's so worth it. And then we have this wonderful box on here as well. And I can see the lines and the veins, what are in there, where Susan's used that toolkit to get those sort of realistic veins and things like that. Just absolutely wonderful. So we'll go back to Susan, see how she is. Now she can breathe. Are you pleased that one's over, Susan?
Oh, I could sit and, in fact, I do. I sit and do flowers all day and think of the next release. So, it's always fun. I come down here after I get the cats situated. I was going to show you, you were talking about the peonies. This is a box I did this morning. And so look how putting these together, and making, I show on my Facebook page how to do a project with it. And then, Spellbinders has a YouTube page. If you go to Spellbinders/Susan's Garden, I have all the directions. I tape how to make all of these. So you'll never have to worry about, if you forget a demo or something like that, you can figure out how to do these. I don't leave you stranded, that's for sure.
Absolutely not. Where on social media then? So we have Facebook. Where do people find the group? What's the group called again? Sorry.
Well, my personal one is Susan's Garden Club, and so every Wednesday at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, because I'm here in North Carolina, we do a live, or I do a live, and then there's another page called Susan's Garden Club Budding Paper Gardeners page. And that's for you all to show your work and share your work on social media. So many people get inspired by other people and what they come up with, and everybody all over the world. I mean, I have certain tools that I have, but you might have something totally different in the UK that you come up with and can share with us. So I encourage you to share your work, because we're such a good group. We're very encouraging. You can ask questions. People will answer them, tell you where to get it. And then, of course, YouTube, Spellbinders has YouTube. And I guess I have, what is that? Not Messenger. What's the other thing? Not Twitter, but the other thing.
Instagram, Twitter.
Instagram, yeah. I put things up on Instagram as well. But and you can always shoot off a message to me. I answer questions all the time. I love to share my love of gardening with you.
That's if she's not in the garden.
Yeah, if I'm not in the garden.
If she's in the garden, you've had it. To be sketching in the garden.
Yeah. Well, usually in the morning, but it's and I would love to do this monthly. This would be so much fun to share.
Yes. She heard me then.
I a little birdie told me.
Oh, yeah, that'd be wonderful, wouldn't it? Just to inspire you. So thank you so much, Susan. It's been an absolute pleasure. You are a superstar. You are a legend in your own right. Thank you so much for bringing something unique, something dedicated to you, your family, your loved ones. It means a lot to me. That's why I love you so much. So
I love
that's not the end. That's not the end of Susan. Make sure you go and join all of the groups. Get involved. If you want to share your makes in our Eureka fan page, we'd love to see your makes. Share the love of craft. Subscribe to our channel. leave a comment underneath this video when we have gone off air, and I will send you one of these lovely cards that Susan sent me. Just one. I don't want to part, so I'll do one. So if you pop a comment underneath this video, welcome Susan to the How to Craft Network. If you want to, which was the best part of the show, let us know. So from me and Susan, we'll say goodbye for now, and hopefully she'll be back with us in the next month or so. Have a great evening, everyone. Take care. Bye. Bye, Susan.
Bye-bye. Bye.